So it appears that our friend James Freeman is going after that bogeyman, that terrorist threat, that evil thing known as ordinances. Yes, friends, of all the relevant issues that he could tackle, because he is James Freeman after all, the sad thing is he gets this many people thinking that what he's doing is, ugh. But yes, ordinances. Now he starts off by claiming that the city government is like the mafia, because James has figured out when things are like each other, how they're like each other, but when things are different, he hasn't yet figured out how they're different. For example, James would say that James and myself are identical. We're both white males and we both make videos on YouTube. We are identical. There is nothing different between me and James. That's how James thinks. What James doesn't understand is that nobody elects their local mafia. They don't have weekly mafia meetings where concerned members of the community can go to the local mob boss and air their particular grievances. If you're late on your protection payment, Vinny the Fish doesn't give you 10 days of notice because, you get 10 days of notice for most of these things in here, like uncut grass as long as it's under 48 inches still. 10 days notice. And you can see it here. This is saying how much notice they're going to give you. Various different code violations will give you various amounts of notice. But Vinny the Fish, he'd break your legs. He wouldn't give you notice. There is no due process. If you tried an administrative hearing with the city and you failed to reach resolution, you may be able to seek judicial review. Not so with the mafia. The mafia's interest is in making money. The city's interest, as stated very clearly, is the health and well-being of their citizens, increasing property value, and reducing crime. That is like something that Hitler would do. Try to protect the health and well-being of citizens, increase property value, and reduce crime. I'm flabbergasted that James thinks that. Now, James doesn't understand that, no, the government exerting control over how you use your property is not the same as the government saying that they own your property. Despite him trying repeatedly to use his big tent or blanket analogy, that's not how it works. You own the property, but your use of that property is restricted to what most people will think are reasonable uses. The city zones certain areas for business, and they zone certain areas for residential, and they zone some areas for a mixture. And it's not to be mean. It's to prevent someone from starting up a tannery right next to your house, or a metal stamping business, or a junkyard next to your house. It is literally to protect you that they do this. And yes, James, ordinances and statutes are necessary. And I know you make a plaintive plea near the end. Well, if people would just help each other out, we would need less government. Well, try the inverse of that. Because people don't just help each other out, we do need more government. the bigger a society gets, the more crowded people are together, the more government intervention tends to be needed. So there you go. This lady was very nice, and you managed to catch out that their weeds were too high. So congratulations on that. Now, they would have, first of all, nobody would find the city, because if the city find itself, that's just stupid, James. But the city's also aware of the problem. And you know what, James? You could dig money out of your pocket, because remember, all this is coming out of the taxpayers' pockets, to do something extra, like call the code enforcement officer in to have him mow. You don't think that would be something extra that they'd have to pay? You're ridiculous. But you could dig the money out of your pocket, or you could volunteer to do it yourself. But you'd rather just be dumb. And as far as how does the city afford these police vehicles, if I am not mistaken, the federal government does subsidize various police forces. So I'm going to assume some of the money is federal. I'm going to assume they get some money from the state, as well as money from their citizens. So I know you're all weirded out. How do they afford such expensive machines? But yeah, they typically will get deals on them, and they'll get subsidized by the feds and the state. Or at least that's my understanding. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.